Welcome to the beginning of your new financial journey. Now, over the next 5 videos, I'm going to be taking you through some steps for creating a new financial networking legacy. Now, my name's Tim Wagner, and I've been around the network marketing environment for many years, whether you call it multi-level marketing, network marketing, multiplication marketing, it all forms the same thing. One key thing that we need to be able to do is speak to people. So perhaps you're here having many years experience in traditional business as an employee, or you've had your own small business and you're looking for something different. As you go through this, you're going to understand and realize that this is no different to a normal business, just that the concepts of approaching it are slightly different. So hang in there to the end, and let's see if over these 5 videos we can help you to fast track your approach to success. Whenever I speak to somebody who's beginning and starting out in this, I always ask them, do you want to do this fast or do you want to do this slow? Well, isn't there normally one answer? I would like to do this fast. Okay, one of the key things that we have in our business models is that this is the fast track. Follow simple, duplicatable systems in order to get the benefits that you've been shown or that perhaps you've even seen. So over these next videos, we're going to be going through the first one here, some will, some won't, so what, and a 30-day strategy around it. How to fail successfully is our second one. Then the third, tips about how to remain connected. Number 4, your belief, which is your secret weapon. And on the last one, number 5, how to not answer questions. So stick close, stick to me right to the end. There is going to be a few things that we're going to be working through together. And I can assure you some really interesting perspectives in our approach to helping you get to where you want to be. Let's crack straight into lesson number 1. Some will, some won't, so what? One of the first things that you're going to have been asked to do in setting up the strategies for your new networking structure is you need to speak to people, create a list, and so on. So I'm going to be taking you through a few key pointers so that you're armed and ready for understanding. It might not be as easy as you first think. And when you're prepared for that in advance, when the times go bad and it's tougher than you imagined, you go, I was expecting this. This is just all part of the journey. So Earl Nightingale in 1956 said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It's a process that we all are going to go through in order to achieve our own version and definition of success. So my goal in this session is to arm you with some knowledge. From there, you can take it forward with a very clear focus as to why you're doing this. But I jump ahead. The great thing about what we're doing in our business is that we're going to be connecting with so many people, and you're going to be connecting with people from all over the world and locally, making new friends, new colleagues, and you're going to start realizing that the great thing about this is the people. And it won't take you long to realize as well that the worst thing about what we do in networking is the people. But when you understand this, that is fine. So I'm going to start with a little story. The story is a chap by the name of Bob. Bob is like you and me. What did Bob want to do? He needed a new life. He needed something else. And he started very aggressively with a strong belief and very passionate about his new widget that he was selling within this network marketing business model. So as Bob was building the business, he came in very, very aggressively. He brought a lot of people in and he grew as a leader within the organization. The great thing about what we have here is that there's no limit to how many leaders there can be. The only limitations is the 6 inches between our ears. But there's an untold amount of people that can actually make their way to the top by just following the process. Now, Bob was doing extremely well. And things started to slow down. And the amount of people that he'd been speaking to, many of them just weren't following through. They weren't following the training. They weren't doing what he was advising and what he was doing. And he started to see that his sales were declining. But you see, Bob had been on a training session before, and he was told that there's a life cycle, that things go up and down, markets go up and down. This is the way the business happens. And when the down starts coming, this is when you prepare yourself and your team and your people for the upcome. Because as things go up, things will go down. When it goes down, it's just a matter of time when it goes up. That is the cycle of business. A great example for showing you market cycles would be to have a look at the Wall Street cheat sheet. So this cheat sheet gives us just an example or an idea for those within the markets, traditional business markets, stock markets, of the cycle of life, where it starts with hope on the bottom left-hand side. You've got disbelief, optimism, belief. As the prices start going up, there's enthusiasm, there's volumes, there's sales, people are exciting. You've got euphoria at the top, things are never going to stop, and off we go. Suddenly it starts to drop. There's a big drop, and start feeling complacency. People have anxiety, there's denial. To think that's it, we're out, this business doesn't work. There's capitulation where not much is happening. There's a lot of anger from people who are saying, I lost my money, no one's doing this anymore, I'm out, I'm going to jump after the next shiny object. People get depressed and losing belief in what happens. But as you can see on the right hand side of this at the top there, this is just one snapshot in the cycle of business. And very soon we're going to be going back into hope, optimism, and belief. Understanding that this is a roller coaster will start to prepare you for the bad times when it's good and the good times when it's bad. So let's get back into the story about Bob. Now, Bob was understanding that this was happening. And in his organization, what was going on was that the leaders were forming as only 10% of the entire organization. So there was a natural split starting to form. You see, the leaders are always going to be finding new people, and they are not going to wait around for the 90% to rise to the top and also to become leaders. The 10%, the A's, let's call them, the A's are the top leaders over here, the 10%, they're going to do this with or without you. They're going to keep recruiting people, keep talking to people, keep growing their network, keep sharing what they have as their belief never wanes because they know and understand what's going on. Now, Bob's one of these people, and he's a top. And he starts moving away and sees there's a lot of people getting left behind. Well, maybe they're not ready. Maybe it's not their time yet. Whatever the reason, it may take time for some people. What happens with that B group? Let's call the second, the 90%, the Bs. What happens with the majority? Well, some of those Bs start to rise to the top as the leaders of that group, and they remain connected with the A's. So that forms a 10% of that group as well. Now, those new leaders are beginning to get new skills as they're starting to understand the cycles and how people work and the psychology of it. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I was in hospitality for 27 years. We're not going to go into psychology. So take my experience, my knowledge for the moment that this is the cycle of how things happen. The 10% of the Bs that rise to the top remain connected with A's. They see where the A's are going and they start emulating and copying what the A's are doing. So they also become part of the core leadership, which is 20% of the total. You maybe have heard of the Pareto principle before. This is the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people will do majority of the work, and 20% of the people will make 80% of the money, meaning that 80% of the people share in only 20%. This is just part of nature. It's a law of the world. It's in nature. You find it in business. It's all over the place. It is your decision whether you would like to be part of the 80 or the 20%. How do you identify which are the 80 and the 20s? Well, it's actually quite easy. The 80% of the people who are complaining all the time, the 80% of the people who don't follow the set system, they try to create a system within the system, or they've said, we found a shortcut, a better way. They're the ones who are jumping from one structure to the next. They've been in everything, they've tried everything, and they are world experts in understanding everything about nothing. The 80% are the ones who complain. They're the ones who have a look at what the other people are doing and say, those A's, they got in early, they got lucky, they were in the right place, they were given a wonderful business and didn't have to do much in order to get it. It's all that the 80% are trying to do is give reasons or justifications to help themselves feel better. It's the cycle of life. The 80% complain how much money they've lost, not about how much work that they didn't do. What makes an A? The A's are the people who turn up to meetings first. They leave meetings last. They're attending every single session without excuse. These are the ones which will go the extra mile, miss the family birthdays, miss a family holiday in order to stay connected because there's important sessions or milestones in their organization, understanding the short-term sacrifice is needed for the bigger gains. The A's are the ones who are always optimistic and positive, even when numbers are going down. They never share negativity amongst their team, so the 80%, they never share negativity. If they are in a negative mood, and we all get like that, they go to the person above them. They go to somebody, one of their leaders, and they let off steam to that person, knowing that that's not going to affect everybody else in their organization. The A's are the ones who are going to do it anyway, with or without the 80%. Now we know that we're not speaking about a job here. In traditional work environment, there's only one CEO. Well, in this environment, there is as many CEOs as can possibly be. There is no limitations. But there's one clear thing that is holding the 80% back from being a true leader or successful in their organization. Now, psychologists may break it down. I'm not here to do that for you. I'm here to identify and say one key difference can make it all change in everybody's environment. And that is a clear understanding of why you are doing what you have started. Your reason, your goal. That is the key thing. Do you want to know how to be successful? Know why you are doing what it is that you're doing. So if you're finding yourself slipping into being the 80%, that's normal. Hang around the A's. Hear what they are talking about, how they're speaking, their posture, their mannerisms. Hang around the 80%. And have a look at the same things. Then identify which group you would like to be a part of. And ideally, hang around the A's a considerable amount more. Understanding some will, some won't, so what? As you're building your organization, some people are going to come in and they will do what you are doing. Some people will come in and they won't. And when you understand that 80% of the people won't follow through with the same amount of enthusiasm and belief as you have got, but in the end, so what? You see, you're going to do this with or without them. In corporate world, the leadership at the top, those 1% which make up the CEOs and CFOs, they need the B's, the 80%, or in the case of corporate, the 99%, they need the 99% in order to be successful. In network marketing, it's the other way around. You see, the A's, the 20%, will go and do it with or without the 80%, because all they do is they know they do not need the 80% to do everything in order to become filthy, stinking rich, if that's the goal. So, belief and why. Why you are doing this. I was told many years ago, if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. So, focus in the next bit of the session in your reason why you've started what you've started. Okay, so now the time comes to act. What do you need to do to act? You're going to write down one key reason why you're doing what it is you're doing. Get a small card, small piece of paper that you can keep close to you, keep it in your purse or your wallet or in your pocket, because you're going to need to carry this around for 30 days. This is where the work comes in now. A farmer plants apple seeds and he expects plums. He's surely going to be very disappointed. The same thing applies in our minds. If we plant the wrong seed from our expectations, we will be surely disappointed. There's one thing in life that is for free. That is the use of our imagination. Most things cost a lot of money. Your house burns down, you need money to rebuild it. You have a car crash, you need money to rebuild it. Yet building our life based upon our expectations of achieving our goals is free. Yet so few people do it. This is where the 30-day challenge comes in. How do you do this? It's the realization that you are in control of your thoughts. The realization that your limitations are created by you and you alone. Force yourself to think about your goals, not your problems. That is where the act of writing things down and keeping it close to you and referring to it on an ongoing basis is surely going to help you realize some of these dreams. So, what do you want more of in life? Write down a single, clear, concise goal. I would like to retire with $1 million in my bank account by the age of 55. I would like to take my family skiing in the French Alps this Christmas holiday. I would like to earn an extra $1,000 per month to become debt-free by December 2022. Specific, small, one goal. It's not to worry about how you're going to get there or what you're going to do. All we're doing is saying, what is that? A word of warning, it's not going to be easy. It should be, but unfortunately it just isn't. This is perhaps why only 20% of people actually write down their goals and only 5% would then follow through right to the end to their achievement. But those people that wrote them down realize the power and they so continue on this journey. During the process of referring to this one dream, one goal on a continuous basis, you may come across some information that perhaps was there before, perhaps it now was just brought by your energy to the forefront, and you're going to come across books or perhaps a seminar or something to watch on YouTube that you would not normally have a look at. I'd urge you, follow through with this. This could be the energy that you're putting out there being part of the attraction for you achieving this goal. As I've said to you, I was told many years ago, listen to something that you maybe don't believe or understand, because this is the point where you're going to learn something new. Start today. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I have a question for you. At some point in your journey, a mentor or business partner may ask you, what would you do to attain your goal or dream? Now, there's only one answer. And that answer is, I would do whatever it takes. How much of a value do you put in achieving this goal? We've covered quite a bit around some concepts of understanding people's mindsets and thinking, and getting to terms with not everybody is going to do what you are doing, and that's fine because we don't need everybody to do this. Understanding the starting point is your why, your reason. On the longer term scale, you're going to be writing down 30 things that you want to do, 30 things that you want to have, and 30 things that you want to be in the next 2 to 5 years. We're just starting at the beginning with one. Next up, in the next training session, is a discussion about how to fail exponentially. Failing your way to success. Until then, Tim Wagner saying ciao for now.